The Supreme Court has struck down the National Judicial Appointments Commission. The Supreme Court has said that the 99th Amendment, which brought in the NJAC, that proposed to give more say to the executive in top judicial appointments, is unconstitutional and violates the basic structure of the Constitution. The commission was created by the government as an alternative to the existing collegium system for appointing judges to the High Court and the Supreme Court of India. While the government argued that the collegium system lacked transparency, the petitioners who opposed the NJAC argued that the word eminent as described in the amendment was too vague and would encourage political interference in judicial appointments. The bench also said it was willing to take suggestions for improving the collegium system of appointment of judges and has now posted the matter for the 3rd of November.
The court has held that this National Judicial Appointments Commission, in which the government would get a substantial say in judicial appointments, interferes with the independence of the judiciary and therefore has been declared to be unconstitutional. From now on, the collegium system gets restored, by which the senior judges select the judges.
Now, meanwhile, the Union Law Minister Sadanand Gowda, he's responded to the Supreme Court verdict regarding the NJAC. Sadanand Gowda said he's surprised by the verdict. He added that the government will study the verdict, hold consultations with legal experts before deciding the next course of action.
See, I was surprised by the verdict of the Supreme Court. I have not got the structure of the judgment. We have to go through in detail. Then again I have to discuss with my law officers, and I should discuss with my senior cabinet colleagues and the Prime Minister. Then we will decide what next step that we need to take.
Majid Memon is a noted legal luminary. He joins me on the broadcast. Your take on the Supreme Court judgment, judicial accountability versus judicial freedom. The Supreme Court weighed in favor of freedom, sir.
You see, this concept of judicial independence and judicial accountability, we are looking for such judges who would inspire confidence of the people of this country, and the image of Indian judiciary should be enjoying the confidence of one and all, because you see, administration of justice is probably the most important pillar of democracy, our Indian democracy. Now here, as far as NJAC is concerned, this commission's installation or the passage of this bill by the parliament, almost unanimously by all political parties, they all supported literally. We were a part to it.
Yes.
But then there were little doubts about it. I will tell you which are these doubts. There are two doubts. Number one is that inclusion of law minister in that commission as one of the voices was resented, and in fact Mr. Ram Jethmalani was very vocal in expressing his displeasure over this presence of law minister. Well, let us not talk of politics, but number two is that two eminent persons. Now that is the bone of contention, and here even today when Supreme Court strikes down this commission's passage by Parliament,
right.
The bone of contention is who these two eminent persons would be, because that is the identity of these two persons is vague, it is ambiguous, and if the executive inserts those two persons of executive's choice, then judges will have no say and all the appointments will be more or less political and may not adhere to the required standards from the judge's point of view.
Now, with so many legal luminaries in
those
Parliament,
two persons are from the judiciary,
yes,
the executive will have no say.
But that is exactly what has happened now. The Supreme Court has completely weighed in favor of the collegium system, even though several, including you to an extent, and Soli Sorabji, former Attorney General, say that the collegium system was perhaps a failure and did not deliver.
No, I will tell you, Savant, one more thing I must clarify.
Okay.
See, when this collegium system was put into operation, we have experienced that for the past about 20-25 years. there have been, you see, some kind of reservations in the minds of people who are absolutely unbiased views that there is appointment, there is something wrong in the appointment in the sense that the judges are just putting in their own kins, and their sons and daughters, etc., are coming in, and the judges, without any check on them by the executive. You see, you can't leave it entirely to judges, because judges are also human beings.
Yes.
Judges are also part of the society. Judges are also part of our so-called, or rather observed, corrupt society.
Yes.
And therefore, you can't, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. If you leave it to Chief Justice alone, that, well, you would appoint the judges, then I think, I'm afraid that there may not be that fairness or independence or accountability.
So what is the next course of action, sir? The Supreme Court has sought opinion on making the collegium system more transparent on the 3rd of November, but this could then go on for years, and in the meantime, the existing collegium system, which you also say is not perfect, it continues.
Now, Savan, resultant upon today's striking down order by 4-1 bench of the Supreme Court, the automatic situation would be that NJAC goes away, and the situation which existed prior to passage of this bill would be revived, in the sense that there would be a collegium in place now. This is what the legal position is. But since we are going to have Parliament session soon hereafter in November next month, definitely the government and all concerned who have passed this law, the Parliament will examine what would be the remedial measure once the Supreme Court has struck down that, whether any changes are required to be made in that law, and that process will begin. The Union Law Minister has already gone on record that he would consult his officers and
Yes.
the Prime Minister, and then probably we will find out from via media, whereby, you know, we can see that there is no collusion between executive
Yes.
and judiciary. Rather, there is some coordination for this important job of formation of a body which would hereafter decide the appointments of higher judicial officers.
That's a very important point that Majid Memon makes there on the broadcast, that there should be no collision between the executive and the judiciary. For the moment, sir, many thanks for joining me on the broadcast.